before I get into all the details on everything, there's been a shooting with ICE again, this time in Portland, Oregon. And this was a very clean shoot. That's number one, what I want you to know. It was a clean shoot, and here's why. It's Tren de Aragua, the Venezuelan gang, narco-terrorist from the state of Aragua, prison gang that, at the behest of Nicolas Maduro, the former dictator of Venezuela, unleashed on us. They were doing a targeted enforcement operation, ICE, in Portland, attempted to stop and take into custody a Tren de Aragua terrorist man, and in the car with him is a Tren de Aragua woman who, I don't know if it's his wife or what, but is a sex trafficker or prostitution ringleader for Tren de Aragua. So these are dirtbag terrorists. ICE doing a targeted enforcement. Apparently it was in a hospital facility, and the guy tried to hit him. What the reports are tonight. So the officer returned fire. He shot the terrorist, Tren de Aragua guy, I think in a leg, and then the woman was hit in the chest. Don't F with our cops. Don't shoot our cops, etc. There's so much tonight. I have video for you to show you the slow motion action of ICE and what they did and why it's justified. And let me tell you this too, by the way. There's a lot of folks who like what I do, like me, but don't agree with me on this at all. There are people, and I've got I saved some comments I pulled and I printed them out for you, of some folks who are Facebook friends of mine, I would say, personally, and they're sending me nasty grams tonight because of my position on this, and that's okay as well. I'm not mad, and I just talked to my son about this, for example. He's 22, and he's been a little leery of ICE for several months now, and on this one, he doesn't necessarily agree, but he didn't know a lot. I gave him a lot of the details, which I'll give you more tonight that we know about this shooting and death of the woman in Minneapolis, St. Paul. So first things first, let me play this for you. Let me share this with you. This is from DHS tonight from Portland. At 2:19 Pacific Standard, U.S. Border Patrol agents were conducting a targeted vehicle stop in Portland, Oregon. The passenger of the vehicle and target is a Venezuelan illegal alien affiliated with transnational Tren de Aragua prostitution ring and involved in a recent shooting in Portland. A recent shooting, too. And by the way, this is who the mayor you're going to hear in Portland. And I fill in Portland fairly regularly lately. The mayor in Portland is outraged, and he wants ICE out of there, and how dare you. He wants to keep Tren de Aragua gang terrorists and sex trafficking going on and prostitution rings. He'd rather have that than have ICE. That tells you a lot. Continuing on, he said that the vehicle, DHS says the vehicle driver is believed to be a member of the vicious transnational Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. The agents identified themselves to the vehicle occupants. The driver weaponized his vehicles, attempted to run over law enforcement agents. The driver drove off with the passenger fleeing the scene. And then this is from the Portland Oregonian, the newspaper there. One shot in the leg, other shot in the chest. They're believed to be a married couple. Isn't that cute? Terrorists marrying each other. Portland Mayor Keith Wilson, this is it. He calls on the immigration officials to end all operations in Portland until a full investigation can be completed. To which DHS, ICE, and Trump and et al. Says, "Kiss my rump," is what I believe the terminology is. Continuing on, we have, let me do a double check too real fast too. I want to see how this, I want to make sure my audio is okay since this is a new outfit. Good, it is working. Sorry, I just really had to check real time to make sure my audio is coming through and everything. I'm using a brand new system tonight. You'll see video in just a second. Portland Mayor Keith Wilson also called on federal immigration officials to end all operation to leave. Quote, just one day after the horrific violence in Minnesota at the hands of federal agents, our community here in Portland is now grappling with another deeply troubling incident. We can't sit idle by while constitutional protections erode, bloodshed mounts. Portland is not a training ground for militarized agents, and the full force threatened by the administration has deadly consequences. So leave Tren de Aragua here. We want to keep them. Leave the sex trafficking or prostitution ring. Leave our community and let terrorists reign. That's what he's saying. Let me do some video, and then I'm going to go into a lot more on the woman. Actually, no, let me give you a bit of history on the woman before I give you some more video. And we have slow motion. We have stuff to show that this woman hit the cop. Let's do that first. I'm sorry. I'm just going to do it. Here is a video to show you how the officer was hit. This is the angle I was telling you about yesterday from the front end of the vehicle. Look closely here, and you can see. Look at that video, and it's replayed over and over and over again. And you can see that right there. So you see the officer is hit. He's hit in the front right quarter panel of that car, the front right quarter panel. She hits him right where her driver's side headlight is. She hits him and drags him about 5 feet. And the reason why you don't see it from the other angle is because the other officer's body is obscuring the contact. But you can clearly see over and over and over again on this replay, over and over again, the ICE officer is hit from the front of the car and dragged several feet. So there it is. Look at that closely. I'll give you another second to just watch that. Hit, dragged. Hit, dragged. Let's now go to another slow motion one that I'm going to show you. This is the other one I wanted to show you because this is from KSDP, kind of an exclusive. They're in the building where my old station I used to work for. My radio station was KSDP AM. Here's the video that you have to see. It's the same thing, but this is from a further out, more wide angle. So you see the vehicle there. Now it hits blah, blah, blah. But I want to go back. Let's go back. Here it is. And there's, wait, get ready. There's the contact. There's the cop being pushed. Let me draw it back a little bit more. Okay. And there's the contact's about to happen. There's your contact. He's now being pushed. He's on the car. He's being pushed. And he's pushed, and then he goes to the side. All right? We'll see it one more time. Cop is in front of the car. He gets hit, and he gets dragged a little bit, and then he goes to the side. Okay, so there you go. That's it. He was hit, and he was dragged. Whether you like it or not, that's what happened. Let me also play for you another one. This is a slow-mo of the car. Now, you're going to see the tires spin out. Watch them. They're going to spin out right now. There they go. Spun out. I'm going to rewind it again. There's the tires going back. Now they're going forward, and they spin out. Boom. They spun up because the gas was down. There he is. He draws his weapon. Let's go back. He draws his weapon. I'm gonna bring it back here. He draws his weapon right here when the tires turn and spin. Weapon drawn. Car's coming in from the front. Wheels are straight, by the way. The people say, oh, the wheels, when it happened, the wheels were turning to the left. She was trying to leave. First of all, the officer does not know her intent. He doesn't know her mind. That same officer that shot 1 month ago was dragged. He was dragged. Let me finish playing this real quick. And they spin out now. Spin out. And then she comes forward towards him, going at him. The tires are straight. Boom, he's hit. I showed you from the front. He was hit and dragged. I don't care if he was hit and dragged for only a split second. And you can't see. Let me go back. You can't see. The officer is obscured at this point when he's hit and dragged for 5 feet or 10 feet, whatever it is. You can't see it. He's obscured by the other officer, okay? So that's what we have there. What can happen? What can happen when an officer allows this to go down and doesn't shoot? Let me show you what can happen. This is a case
on March 7th, 2025, at 12:08 p.m. Officers dispatched to the 1100 block of 12th Street in response to a 911 text referencing an individual in a white Chevy Equinox.
All right, so here they go. I'm going to kill the audio. They're doing a traffic stop. They want to talk to this lady. It's a white lady, just like the other one. Oh, she doesn't mean any harm. So just a nice white lady in an SUV of some sort. The cops go up to effect a stop, and here's what happens. Let's see. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. Okay, hold on. She disobeys the cops. She pulls out. And she's not going to hit the cop. No. They shouldn't shoot her. See, they don't have to shoot her. They got their guns drawn because she's driving a deadly weapon. That's a deadly weapon. So they got their guns drawn. They're trying to stop her. She's going in. She's going out. We don't need to shoot anybody. Let's not shoot her. Let me pause it right here. Hold on. Let me pause it for a second. I'm gonna put the audio on for you, this part. Because there's no reason to shoot. The car's not a deadly weapon. Nobody's going to get hurt. Here we go. No.
399. Get out of the car! Get out of the car! 999, someone struck me.
Get out of the car!
Boom. Cop is hit now. No shots. Shots after the contact. That's why you can't wait. That officer was hit. I don't know if he ended up dying or what. He was hit with that full weight of that car. The car's a deadly weapon. Can't play around, period. Let me get in now to this woman who was shot and killed by ICE. First of all, her wife, her spouse, her partner, they changed last names and such, but I don't know if they're officially married. It doesn't bother me either way. But the wife said immediately after this, the wife got out of the car. The wife was videoing all this. This was, these are activists who were stalking and hunting ICE down and impeding them actively throughout the day. The wife came out after her wife was hit, and she sat there and she said, I made her come down here. It's my fault. I made her come down here. It's my fault. I think this woman who's dead was radicalized. I think her wife was pushing the radicalization more, it appears. I think the wife is responsible for radicalizing her wife further. The woman who's dead, her mom says she wouldn't hurt a soul. She's not like that, da-da-da-da-da. So, first of all, the surviving spouse says, I made her come down here. It's my fault. Okay? And Kristi Noem and Donald Trump are right when they call her a professional agitator. She is. The Missouri license plate that registered to 2 people in Kansas City, it's them. The mother of 3 children under the age of 18. There's now no mother. And the grandfather says, my daughter, my grandchild has nothing. There's a 6-year-old in there and has no one in their life now. I will fly down there. I will get her. I will do whatever it takes for her. I think it's a son. Sorry, a 6-year-old son. So now she has no son. Why? Because she was a warrior. I'll get to that in a second. She was radicalized. She was a warrior, and she is a far-left extremist, radicalized terrorist. I hate to say it, but a terrorist. I think that Kristi Noem was right. Because what she did all day after dropping her son off at this radical left, you'll hear about in a second, daycare or day school, whatever you want to call it, charter school. After she dropped him off, all she did was drive around and she was reportedly leading the whole group of people that were harassing, chasing, obfuscating, and blocking ICE. And by the way, people say, oh, she was really nice. She was waving ICE on. She wasn't doing anything wrong. She is not in charge. They are federal officers federally carrying out judicial warrants on targeted operation. Maybe they're not warrants, maybe they are, but most of the time they're doing targeted operations with a warrant to get somebody, tag and bag somebody. She was literally in charge, trying to be in charge of the situation, blocking traffic and waving ICE officers as to who can go where. She was literally hindering and obfuscating a federal investigation or federal apprehension. She FAFO'd, unfortunately, and I don't wish anybody dead, but she FAFO'd. Okay, here's how radical she is, and this is why I think she was a radicalized leftist terrorist. Renee Nicole Good, the woman who's dead, was an anti-ICE warrior, quote unquote. She worked to document and resist federal immigration crackdown in Minnesota. She was resisting, meaning messing with ICE, getting in the way, which is obvious by the video. And she was a warrior. Her son's 6-year-old woke charter school. This is an exclusive from the New York Post tonight. Her son, 6-year-old, goes to a woke charter school which boasts that it puts social justice first and prioritizes involving kids in political and social activism. By the way, my son asked me tonight, why did they cancel school for the whole week in Minneapolis? I said, because it's a radical leftist city, because they know and they want rioting to go on. This is all supported by the left. They want chaos. This is what they want. They want to create what the ultimate goal is to stop Donald Trump from deporting millions of illegals. That's ultimately what this is. It's using radical leftist shock troops, just like they did with the St. George Floyd, blessed be his name, who died from a drug overdose while in the custody of Minneapolis police. This is exactly what it is. This is a send the shock troops out, say that ICE is the Gestapo tactics. It's their fault. They're bad. They're evil. They're going to kill people. Your shock troops chase them down. assault them, and then one of them gets killed because they're about to run over, or they attempt to run over an ICE officer. And by the way, it doesn't matter what the intent was of that person. It doesn't matter which way the tires were going. They don't look at tires when they have a threat coming at them. They don't look down and study the tires. Stephen A. Smith, by the way, said today that the shoot was a clean shoot, but they should have maybe shot out the tires. Cops never, if anybody tells you to shoot the ankle or shoot the leg like Joe Biden said once, or to shoot the tires like what Stephen A. Smith says, they don't know anything. Not even about basic firearms. Dude, even in my license to carry class, I was taught, my CCL class, whatever you want to call it, shoot center mass. You shoot to stop the threat. You don't shoot the frickin' ankle where it ricochets and hits somebody else and kills them. You don't shoot the tire where you miss and ricochets and kills some people that are looking the other onlookers. You shoot to stop the threat. The threat is a person that is driving a 2,000-pound weapon. Even Bill Barr, who hates Trump, was on today on Fox News saying this was absolutely legitimate and a clean shoot. It goes on and on. You have former federal prosecutors that have said that, and so many other people. The only people that think this is a bad shoot are leftists or people like my son who didn't know the whole story. Let's go on here. We got, she was a warrior. This is what one of the moms, these moms at this charter school would get together and go after ICE, hinder their investigations, block them, stop them. One of the mothers at this school said she was a warrior. That tells you everything. When warriors go and they go into battle and warriors can get killed, and that's what happened. She faffoed. I don't want to be mean or rude or make fun of her, but she faffoed. She was a warrior. And when you go up against the federal government, you will lose, warrior. She died doing what was right, said a radical leftist mother at this school named Lisa, whose child attends the same school. It was through her involvement in the school community that she became involved in ICE Watch, the deceased woman. They said regular topics for this charter school for these little kids at this woke charter school were St. George Floyd, blessed be his name. Regular parts of the curriculum were George Floyd. Last month, students took a field trip where they learned about Aboriginal issues. Renee Good, quote, Renee Good was trained against these ICE agents. That's what happened. She was trained against the ICE agents. She went up against them with a deadly weapon, a car, and she lost. I know she was doing the right thing, says this mother at the charter school. I watched the video plenty of times, but and by the way, that makes me upset when people say the video. I've seen the video. And I said this to one of our listeners who likes me, follows me, but disagrees with me a quarter of the time or half the time in a serious manner, but he's a good guy. And he said, I saw the video. I said, the video? As if there's only one video. There are 15 total videos. I have shown you 2 at most from different angles. Maybe 3, depending on if there's 15 different ones according to reports. The video? As if one of them tells the truth? Did you see the one where the guy was hit like I showed you in slow motion over and over again? He's hit. And by the way, you can't shoot the windshield from the side of the car. He shot the windshield because he was in front of the car when she hit him. The group started out at the School of Mothers as a very loose confederation of anti-ICE activists, but recently aligned itself with more radical organizations, including Twin Cities. I think it's Ungovernables. The printing is a little bit messed up. Well, they're radical organizations. They are radical leftist terrorists. I'm sorry to say that. ICE Watch recently shared an Instagram post. Her group shared an Instagram post encouraging agitators to bring items that would help them barricade the streets around where the shooting took place, the group that she was a part of. Even urging people to bring things to burn like dried up Christmas trees. These are terrorists. They are radical leftist terrorists. They are. Christy Noem says that Miss Goods, the one who died, had been stalking and harassing ICE agents in Minneapolis throughout the day. She dropped her six-year-old child at a charter school, a radical leftist charter school. She's got 2 other kids under 18. And what is she doing all day? Chasing, hindering, and at war with ICE. I told my son this earlier. All she had to do was obey the cops. Obey ICE. Get out of the car. They said it loudly. Get out of the car. If she would have stopped, parked, and gotten out of the car, she never would have been harmed. She probably would have been let go. They then tried to open her door. It was locked. She didn't open it. She then drove at the cop, and she was killed. The family fled to Canada when Trump was elected because they hate him that much, but they only made it 8 months and came back to Minneapolis, where they've been for a year or two. Again, her widow, the wife, said, "It's my fault. I made her come down here. It's my fault." Quote, "They shot her in the head. I have a 6-year-old in school." You got a 6-year-old, man. Who in God's name, who in their right mind chases, harasses, and obfuscates and is a warrior, quote unquote, against federal law enforcement officials? Poor kid. This is from the Daily Mail. Renee Good was trained against these ICE agents. She was trained against them. She knew what to do, what not to do. It's very thorough training. This is a warrior. This is a militaristic person. That's a terrorist. As part of this training, she allegedly learned to listen to commands and understand her rights. And here, this is from one of the experts that Daily Mail interviewed about this, and saying this is a clean shoot. This expert, senior legal fellow at Advancing American Freedom, quote, if the officers reasonably perceive serious bodily harm or death. This is the same thing with Texas law. It's the same thing with most any state that I'm aware of. If I face, or you face, anyone faces serious bodily injury or death, imminent serious bodily injury or death, deadly force is justifiable. If it's reasonable, that's reasonable. That same officer, I think I mentioned this, but if I didn't, that same officer, I'm going to give you more details in a second, was on a targeted operation for a man in illegal in Minneapolis, St. Paul. It was in St. Paul. It was last month. Same cop that shot and killed this woman. Excuse me. He was on a targeted enforcement of a man who's wanted for continuously raping a 16-year-old girl. He's 40 years old. He also had other violent things on his record, or felony things on his record. They went to arrest him. They saw him pull out of his garage in his car. They pulled him over. He wouldn't open the door. They tapped the glass with their thing that breaks the glass. Reached in to get him and get in the car. He drove off and dragged the same agent that shot and killed this woman. He dragged him 300 feet. He tasered the illegal twice, and the illegal still kept driving. I have told you I was tasered. I was tasered live on the air when I was in Atlanta. And it was only one time, and it was so terrifying and so painful. I call it riding the lightning now as a joke. It was so terrifying and painful that I literally thought he was going to do it again, because I had him act like I was a criminal and he was a cop, and he said, get on the ground now. I said, no. And then he shot me. And then after the 5 seconds, it felt like 20 seconds. It was so painful. He said, stop moving. And I said, no more, please. I thought he was going to do it again. I was terrified. And what I said that night in the air, and I'll say for the rest of my life, is if you've gotten tasered once and you still keep going for him, you're a freaking lunatic. You're a very dangerous person. You're high on drugs. You're a serious, very dangerous person. This illegal was tasered twice. He dragged the cop, and if the cop had his gun, he should have shot him. He could have shot him, boom, 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 boom. But he only had a taser. The cop, the ICE officer had 14 stitches in one side and 17 or something stitches on the other one, and he was bloodied up all over his body. So those are some of the key things. And her state of mind, that woman driving that car that's now dead, her state of mind doesn't matter. The direction of the tires don't matter. What matters is there was a threat. She hit him, and he shot her, and it was a good shoot. I hate to say good shoot, but it was a justified shoot, clean shoot. Quote, you have an officer who's trying to conduct a lawful detention of a driver who's blocking the road. And that's the other thing. She's literally blocking the road to stop us. She's blocking the road, trying to impede law enforcement as they're going down that road. The driver is not being compliant with these lawful commands. The command is get out of the car. She didn't. He explicitly does not have a duty to retreat, because people, he's supposed to, we could have jumped away on the side. He's a law enforcement officer. He does not have a duty to retreat at all. He's stopping somebody. They're effectuating a stop. She is not free to go. The moment he said get out of the car, she is not free to go. She is detained. At that point, she cannot go unless she wants to violate federal law. He explicitly does not have a duty to retreat in the way a civilian would under these circumstances, says this expert. It doesn't matter whether the driver subjectively was not trying to hit the officer. It matters what the officer can reasonably perceive. He can't read her mind. He just knows that you have someone who's ignoring lawful commands, who was moving a car toward him. That is deadly force. That's kind of it, yeah. And then she was heard telling agents to go around as if she's in charge. You're not in charge. All right. I shared the details of the officer being dragged. That guy that was a targeted enforcement last month that dragged the ICE officer that shot and killed this woman yesterday. His name is Robert Carlos Munoz, 40-year-old, dangerous and deadly weapon. He had assault on a federal officer with a dangerous and deadly weapon causing bodily injury, and also the continual sexual assault of a 16-year-old. That's the guy who dragged the same officer last month in St. Paul. Let's play some more video for you. Let's go to this dunderhead, this idiot. Since I fill in regularly in Chicago, I got a lot of Chicago people that follow too. Here's the dishonorable mayor playing a game as if he's the mayor, as if Minneapolis somehow affects him. Let's go to the mayor idiot. Here we go. Brandon Johnson today.
Good evening, Chicago. I would like to take a moment to address the tragic loss of life today in Minneapolis. The video that many of us have seen of ICE officers fatally shooting a woman at point-blank range is deeply disturbing and
point-blank range is like 2 inches from her head. The guy's an idiot.
unfortunately all too similar to incidents that have transpired here in Chicago. No community deserves to be subjected to the terror that's stemming from this president's use of ICE.
That's enough. So we saw the idiot. Now let's go to his chief of police, Larry Snelling, the superintendent, they call him, of the chief of police. Listen to what he said. This is after the radical leftist terrorists in Chicago boxed in ICE and they shot that one lady, that one leftist terrorist activist. This is what Superintendent Larry Snelling said after that case.
Federal agents, ICE, HSI, are officers. They are agents of law enforcement. If you box them in with vehicles, it is reasonable for them to believe that they are being ambushed and that this could end in a deadly situation. And it's reasonable for them to use force based on those conditions. Do not box in any law enforcement officer. You are breaking the law when you do that. And you are putting yourself in danger. Following law enforcement agents around. The question is why? What do you plan on doing? It's also reasonable for them to believe that you're eventually going to do harm to them. If you ram any vehicle, especially that one that contains law enforcement agents, and that's any law enforcement, local, state, federal, county, and you do this intentionally, this is considered deadly force. Deadly force is anything that can cause great bodily harm or death. When you plow into a vehicle that contains law enforcement agents, you're using deadly force.
There you go. The superintendent of police, the chief, a.k.a. the chief of police of the Chicago city of Chicago, has it right. Larry Snelling actually told the truth. Don't mess with him. Don't block him in. Don't obfuscate. And that's what she did. And unfortunately, when she drove her car towards him, that's why she died. She faffoed. Not trying to be rude. There's nothing funny about the woman being dead. Nothing to mock. She faffoed. Tim Walz is asking the feds to allow his Minnesota state law enforcement to be part of the federal investigation into ICE. No. You guys, this is great. I'm gonna quote Bill Malugin, Fox News chief political reporter or whatever he is, Capitol reporter. Quote: "It's ironic given that Minnesota does not cooperate with ICE. So Minnesota does not cooperate with ICE. They let child molesters, murderers go free once they are released from jail. They don't work with ICE, but yet they want ICE to work with them, only when it's convenient for them. They cannot be trusted, Hell no is my answer. Excuse my language, but hell no. Oh, hell no. Let's shift to, and by the way, I'll ask you, do you think they should? Comment. We've got people commenting right there. One person says, good evening. Are you no longer with WBAP? Yeah, that's been about a year. But yes, thank you. But you can watch my podcast. I'm doing it at least 4 days a week now. And you're here at QT Owned Dude 1973. Welcome. I will see your comments, by the way. I will see your comments. And I thank you for them. I will be on in Phoenix tomorrow, by the way. I'll be on in Phoenix, Arizona at KFYI. That's an easy one to remember, KFYI. I will be on Dallas time. I'm going to give you Dallas time because that's where I'm sitting from 5 to 8 p.m. Dallas time tomorrow, which is 4 to 7 p.m. Phoenix doing their afternoon drive show on KFYI. It's a great station. Okay. You can tell me in the comment section or DM me. Well, don't DM me. Say it on these posts if you think that the Fed should cooperate with Minnesota and on the investigation. Hell no, they can't be trusted at all. Let's go to some of the other footage on. Because there was some supposed controversy about this guy getting shot right in the face with a massive orange pepper ball. This was absolutely justified. Let's watch this. And here it was. This is right after the death where they were rioting and gathering. Look at this. So you see him reach for his weapon. See him? He's got his hand on the weapon. He's grabbing the weapon. That's it. It's over. Whatever gun he's got, you shoot him with. So he's grabbing the weapon. He's messing with the weapon. He's got one hand up like, oh, I'm not doing it. No, his left hand is grabbing the weapon. He's like a magician grabbing this officer's weapon. Unfreaking real. Let's go back on that one more time. Look at that. So they're playing patty cake here. You can't do that with federal law enforcement. Look at it. He grabs his weapon with his left hand. Look at it. He's attempting to grab it. He's got his hand on his freaking weapon, and that's it. So guess what happens next? I'm going to leave the audio in for this one because you have to see this. This is absolutely fantastic. There's some audio on this. There's a swear word in it, just so you know, but watch this. That was way too loud. Sorry about that. Let me try this again. Hold on. I apologize. That was way freaking too loud. Here we go. Okay.
This my shit. All girls love to be like this. Few times you get around that tape, so it's not just gonna happen like.
Oh, let's watch this again. This is great. This is what happens when you try to take an officer's weapon and it happens to be a pepper ball. You know what he did? It shut him up real quick. It stopped him right away, didn't it? Let's see that one again.
This my shit. All girls love to be like this. Few times you get around that tape, so it's not just gonna happen like.
He got real peaceful then. Real peaceful. One more time. This is great.
This my shit. All the girls love to be like this. Few times you get around
That's why
that
they have
tape, so
these
it's not
tools
just
they
gonna happen like.
Yeah, water's not going to fix that, y'all. Water is not going to fix that in any way, shape, or form. And that's my favorite one. I'm so glad I got that one for you. That's just fantastic is what that is. Let me go to what do I got next? Check out lots more video for you. Okay, hope you're liking the new graphics, the new digs, the new everything. More and more to come. I'm going to start having guests on now that I got this whole program up, which is going to be great. All the guests you're used to me having and ones you're not used to me having, ones that I have from all over the country in my fill-ins that are really, really good. So we're going to keep growing this show. Tim Walz authorized the Minnesota National Guard to stage and be ready to support. So he called them up officially. People were saying, they were outraged. They were saying he was going to call up the Guard to use against the feds. He's not doing that. I think as much of a radical leftist idiot trying to cover up all the corruption in Minnesota that he's responsible for, I think even with all that, he still would never attempt to call up the National Guard against the federal troops because he knows that's not going to happen. If it had to be the Supreme Court, they would step in within a half hour and shut it all down. There's no way that's going to happen. No, I knew all along he was not calling up the Guard to go after the federal officers, the ICE officers. Some people totally misread that. I never did. I knew from day one, from the first minute. He was looking at calling in the National Guard so that they can keep the peace from riots. But again, they let school out for the week so that people can riot because that's their shock troops. This is what they do. Oh, by the way, in Dallas, they're trying to pull this tonight too. Let me go right to Dallas because this is going on tonight. You had WFAA claimed it was only 100 people showing up, but it's the opposite. According to Dallas Morning News, says there's 400 people tonight. Play that again for you. This is tonight in Dallas. Sorry, I keep hitting the wrong button. Okay, so there they are in Dallas tonight, and whether it's 100, 400 people, they're rallying to have anarchy. And some of those people, I'll share the names and the groups they're with. They're totally leftist, radical groups that are irrelevant. But here's Tim Walz acting a fool, embarrassing himself, and how sick would you have Jacob Fry, the mayor of Minneapolis, just a leftist. I hate to use the phrase libtard that some people use, but a leftist pansy dancing like a white boy twit for the Somali people, and then humping their legs, and then coming out and saying this was a murder. I saw the tape within an hour, and so, shame on them. Whether you like the shoot or not, and nobody likes the shoot, you know what I'm saying, whether you think it's a clean shoot or not, that's fine. But to come out and say it was murder, and to be the official that runs that city, and then the governor too, they're desperate. They want to own the moment. They want to clinch it, and they have no problem with a riot. It's just filthy. It's disgusting. It is. And I'm on the point where some people see the video and see the opposite that I do or that you do, whatever. I'm going to be sharing with you what some people, personal people in my life, have friends have sent me on Facebook tonight, personally DM'd me, and they are like really not happy with my position on this, which is fine. I'm going to read it though. No, I'm not going to read their names, but I'm going to read what they say, because I want to show it on a personal level that you and I are going through, maybe with people that we know and love too, and how I handle it, and see how you feel about that. Oh, we're getting more comments here. Can't trust Tampon Tim. That's right. Trump should call up the Minnesota National Guard to protect ICE, and Tampon Tim couldn't use them. That's exactly what Trump should do. If this gets heated more tomorrow, which it has been getting heated, if it gets heated more tomorrow, what Trump needs to do is invoke the Insurrection Act in Minnesota. And by the way, he has 2,000 ICE agents on the ground, and he needs to make it 4,000. Period. That or call up the Guard in the Insurrection Act, but one of the two. Okay. 2 hotels, including one in Dallas. Let's start with Dallas first because we have a lot of DFW followers. Love you guys very much. 20-year-old Gia worked as a parking attendant at the Hilton Anatole. That's a very nice hotel. I've been to a bunch of times. I've been in the lazy river there. And apparently some ICE officers were there the other day, and this sick 20-year-old woman who's studying to be a nurse, who's a parking attendant there, not even an employee of Hilton Anatole, doxed ICE agents. She grabbed her phone and began filming. The Dallas Morning News reports a manager asked her to delete this video once it came out. She put it out there and said, there's ICE agents staying here, and here's who they are, and all sorts of stuff. The manager said delete the video. She told the Dallas Morning News on Thursday. When she declined, she was told she violated the company's social media policy and was fired from the Hilton's third-party valet company. That's exactly right. She said she didn't care. She's in college studying to become a nurse. Ma'am, if I show up with a MAGA shirt on, if I am an ICE officer and I show up there, are you going to not treat me? Would you want this woman to work as a nurse at your hospital? Would you want this woman to treat you at a hospital, knowing how she feels about ICE? She's a radical leftist. So they fired her. But there was another Hilton hotel, as you know, in Minneapolis, St. Paul. That sign's been removed. Not the one in the building, as far as I know yet, but they did take the huge one that's got Hampton in it, that's on its own. It's massive. They took that one down with a crane yesterday. I'm sure you saw that. But there's another hotel in Minneapolis, St. Paul, Marriott Residence Inn in Bloomington, one of the suburbs of Minneapolis. An independently owned Marriott hotel. This is a sick woman. She doxed ICE agents. She leaked their names, their emails, and she released surveillance videos of them. You know how there's cameras in the hotel. She had surveillance videos. She took screen grabs of it. She put their freaking pictures on Reddit, their email addresses, their names. It's just so disgusting. She was fired by the hotel. Marriott immediately contacted them, and she posted ICE Watch MN is of Minnesota on a thread. Had captions, ICE staying at residence and in Bloomington by MOA, Mall of America. I used to go there with my 22-year-old son when he was like 2 and 3. I used to take him there during my breaks when I was doing a talk radio show there in Minneapolis. And I'd get Caribou Coffee, which is based out of there, and I would just go on the stroller all over the place, with my beautiful son. All right. Anyways, yeah, she put this out there and said 3 males, 3 females staying at this hotel, company email, and some of their names. Just sick. Real sick. The daycare that Nick Shirley got, the Quality Leering Center, has officially shut down. The state said they were shut down. They were not. They were open, and all of a sudden, they officially shut down yesterday. They received $1.9 million in 2025. A lot of people will be going to jail over there. They're going to be leering a lot. All right, let's go to my two of my Facebook friends who watched. I did a 30-second video right after it happened, the shooting and the death of that woman in Minneapolis. And basically I said, she FAFO'd. You don't come at a cop with a car. That's a deadly weapon. And it was a justifiable shoot. And I said it with passion and verve like I do. And so 2 of my friends sent these different messages to me, and I'm going to read them to you. It's a lot more sensitive when these are friends. One of these guys, first guy I'm going to share, he's from Colombia. He came here legally. He served in our National Guard. I think he still does. And he doesn't live here anymore. He lives in New Jersey now. But he and we were the first people that really became friends with them and loved them. And I speak Spanish, so we spoke a lot of Spanish. His parents came. We ate authentic Colombian food. It was we had such fun. Everybody was laughing. Just wonderful bonding. So I haven't seen him in a long time. He's out in New Jersey with his wife and their daughter. And so he saw that post, and he said this. And I'm reading it to you not to make fun of him, not to rip on him, but to share a personal 2 different people. And so this kind of stuff that is going on in my life, what people are saying. God put this word in my heart for you. He's quoting Isaiah 5, chapter 5, 5:20, Isaiah 5:20. NIV version, for those of you who are interested. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Quote, I hope that MAGA movement does not. He's not as good as the English because Spanish is his first language. I hope that MAGA movement doesn't continue blurring your judgment, because God have a. I'm going to read it as is. Because God have a purpose with you and your profession, but you can lose it. Because God gives but also rejects, like he did with Saul. I hope that everything goes well for you and your family. God gives you wisdom and love to see the true. He means the truth. So anyways, sadly, he is obviously doesn't like MAGA, and he's saying it has something to do with faith. It doesn't. So here's how I handled it. First of all, what I don't do, and I recommend you don't do either, I'm not going to get into it with people that are my friends. If he keeps it up and keeps going at me on some things, eventually I'll unfriend him. But I'm not going to go back and forth with the guy. I ain't going to change his mind. My Uncle Ray lives in Hawaii, and he's a radical leftist, but I love him very much. My mom loves him like a brother, and she gets into it with him politically all the time too. But he sent me a quick comment. ICE are not cops. That's all he said. I'm not going to get in an argument with him, and he doesn't take it personally either, which is good. But anyways, I wrote to my friend, thank you. I hope you are well, brother. That's it. I didn't try to dispute what he said. I didn't argue with him. I didn't get mad. I just said, oh, thank you, Alex. Sorry, his first name's Alex. I hope you are well, brother. That's it. So if he goes at me a few more times or in a nasty way, eventually I'll unfriend him. And then I got this one. This is a gentleman that I worked with at my old station. It's been several years, but we loved each other. We had a lot of fun. He built my website for me, an old iteration of it, for free just because he really liked me and I really liked him. He's just a wonderful, sweet guy. Here's what he sent me today. I haven't heard from him in years. Here's what he sent me today. You're disgusting, sir. You're disgusting, sir. I cannot believe you backed this violence. So what did I write back? You're disgusting, sir. I cannot believe you backed this violence. Why would you send that to a friend? I don't know, man. He's not going to change my mind, and I'm not going to change his. And I'm not. I think there's a real problem with people going at it with others on Facebook that are friends. Don't do that. I think it's just icky. So here's what I wrote back. He said, "You're disgusting, sir. I cannot believe you backed this violence." I wrote, "I love you regardless," which is true. "I love you regardless. Hope you are well, brother." He wrote me back. "I'm well, thank you. I'm glad you're finding success. I wish it wasn't from the pain and anguish of young women and Americans. But you got to make that money, right?" Here we see that's being nasty. Just like Jesus said, quote, "Stop for the Gestapo or get shot and killed." Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is worse than I thought. That was what Jesus said, right? Or did he say, quote, "You can be a pedophile as long as you instill enough hatred and fear in your blind followers"? I don't know what that's about. Maybe that's what Jesus said. "As a human, I absolutely love you." See, that's good. "Not through religion, nor through fear or hate, but because you're my friend and the memories we share are wonderful." See? I love the guy. "Take care of yourself. Please stop spreading the hatred and justified violence." Oh, come on! Can't we just get along? So I didn't respond to that. But I wanted to share a personal angle, in a good way. Like, it's just, we're all getting this, I'm sure, from different people. All right, let's go to Tim Walz acting a fool today. Here we go.
History. When things looked really bleak, it was Minnesota First that held that line for the nation on that July 3rd, 1863. And I think now we may be in that moment that the nation's looking to us to hold the line on democracy.
Okay, so there he is talking about Gettysburg. Dude, this is not Gettysburg. This is not Gettysburg. Is my wife telling me that I'm being too loud? She said to me some. Anyways, she's not. She'll say I stop yelling. She tells me I'm not yelling. I tell her. Okay, we got more. A little bit more audio. J.D. Vance did a great job wiping the floor clean with the woman, sadly, who's dead from the ICE shooting in Minneapolis. And Tim Walz.
Well, being part of the network doesn't justify being shot, but ramming an ICE officer with your car, that's what justifies being shot. It's not a good thing, by the way, but when you force somebody to engage in self-defense, it's almost a preposterous question. I'm not saying that funding some of this stuff justifies capital punishment. Nobody would suggest that. The reason this woman is dead is because she tried to ram somebody with her car, and that guy acted in self-defense. That is why she lost her life, and that is the tragedy. Now, there may be other violations of the law and other penalties that are associated with those violations of the law. For example, if you are funding violence against our law enforcement officers, I'm not a prosecutor. My guess is that's not the sort of thing that earns capital punishment, but it should sure as hell earn you a few years in prison if you're funding the effort to try to assault our law enforcement officers. What is this? I'm sorry, guys. What's going on here? You guys are meant to report the truth. How have you let yourself become agents of propaganda of a radical fringe that's making it harder for us to enforce our laws? You just asked me a question that presumed that the reason why this woman died is because she was engaged in legitimate protest. She tried to run somebody over with her car, and the guy defended himself when that happened.
That moral clarity and simplicity, the guy's brilliant. He is. And that, well done is what I would say to him tonight about that. Bud Kennedy, the liberal leftist Bud Kennedy from the Star-Telegram, who, by the way, years ago, while in studio with me at WBAP, my old station, Bud Kennedy, he sat in the studio face-to-face, and he's like, when I told him my son and my daughter were homeschooled, he says, Oh, I'm so sorry. I wish you wouldn't. He said something like, "I wish you wouldn't rob the other children of the privilege and pleasure of being with your son." He couched it as in, oh, you shouldn't be homeschooling. You're right wing guy. And then, instead of saying your kid should be in public school, he says, you're robbing us of having your son in school. He graduated with a 4.0 grade point average. He speaks fluent Japanese. So I think we did quite well, and I think he did quite well. So, but I couched that Bud Kennedy thing with that little phrase. Okay, so here we go. Bud Kennedy wrote a column that is smart. For Texas Democrats, this is the Star Telegram today. For Texas Democrats, Minnesota ICE death can't be the flashpoint. Can't be the flashpoint. Don't make it the flashpoint. Don't be anti-cop, anti-law enforcement like you were last time is what he's saying. But they are. Hakeem Jeffries, there's nothing good to suggest the shooting of an unarmed woman in Minneapolis was justified. Tim Walz, we have someone dead in their car for no reason whatsoever, he quotes. Jasmine Crockett, this fool. ICE just murdered a U.S. citizen. You poor fool. By the way, Jasmine Crockett's political campaign for Senate, that's the sound effect for her campaign. She got a snowball's chance now. I hope she beats James Tallarico. Tallarico or Tallarico, however you pronounce it. I think it's Tallarico. I think he's more of a threat, but he still couldn't beat whether it's our Attorney General Ken Paxton or whether it is milquetoast, pathetic John Cornyn. And by the way, Bud Kennedy even said the quiet part out loud. A veering SUV is a risk. A veering SUV is a risk. Bud Kennedy says it. And he talks about how Greg Abbott just had 8 police organizations endorse him, including my friends over at Fort Worth Police Officers Association, Dallas Police Association, CLEAT, the Combined Law Enforcement. It's the largest union we have in the state of Texas for police. Tarrant County Union, etc. The protests at Dallas tonight that you saw the video of, emergency protest, quote unquote, held at Dallas City Hall after fatal Minnesota ICE shooting from the Dallas Morning News. More than 400 people were outside. The National Alliance Against Racism and Political Oppression is there. Oh, this is grassroots. Oh, this is real. The National Alliance Against Racism and Political Oppression. I'm with the National Alliance for Racism and Political Oppression. Who's for racism? Who's for political oppression? Anyways, radical leftists. So that's who's at that rally. That's great, dude. We're in a metropolitan area of about 8 million people. Of course, you can get 400 or 500 people to show up. What else do I got for you here? I have, this is great. The new police chief of Dallas, who I consider a disgrace, Daniel Como. First of all, he was made it absolutely clear over the top last month or 2 months ago. I am not for ICE. I am not working with ICE. I will never work with ICE. No ICE. No ICE. No problem. Would you like some ice with your drink? No. No problem. He has to work with ICE now. He has to have 287G in his jail as of January 1st, because the state of Texas passed a law that says any county with over 100,000 people must have 287G for the jail. So he is one of those counties that he's in. I know he's not the sheriff, but if he takes him to Dallas County lockup, there's a 287G program now. So even though he loves illegals, wants to protect them, even the rapists, the murderers, and doesn't want to give them ICE, at all costs, let's keep those illegals, let them keep raping our daughters, murdering our sons, whatever. He now has to allow 287G in the jail for Dallas County, where he brings people, presumably. And I assume also for the Dallas City Jail, if there is one. If there is one, it's probably tiny, but it probably just goes right in the county lockup, is my guess, up the Lou Sterrett Center. But Como is in the news today, and I'm talking about him because he now says that he's offended at Governor Abbott telling the truth, that the reason why AT&T left with over 10,000 jobs, I think it was 10,600 if I'm not mistaken, the reason why they left and is a massive, massive blow to the city of Dallas is because of crime, because they don't have enough cops. And now comes the Dallas police chief trying to defend himself. Dude, you've been on the freaking force. And by the way, Fox 4 tells the truth. WFAA doesn't put this in there. Fox 4 tells the truth and says he's been on the job for 9 freaking months. What are you doing trying to defend downtown? You don't know anything. You're here for 9 months. You're a freaking infant still. So he comes out like the fool he is. He's a fool. Less than 9 months into his role as Dallas police chief, he comes out and fires back against Governor Greg Abbott. Well, guess what? First of all, sit down. You've been here for 9 months. You don't know anything. You lost AT&T. You want to take credit for what's going on downtown? You want to say it's great? Great. You lost AT&T then. If you know what you're talking about, good. You lost it. But let's go to the real people that matter. Let's go to the manager of the Crown Plaza Hotel in downtown Dallas. This is where the rubber meets the road. What does he think? He says Governor Greg Abbott's comments about safety resonate with his experience. The manager of the Crown Plaza in downtown Dallas. He says they run into issues all the time. Fox 4 said the manager, Bill Abusad, told Fox 4 he's reached out to Mayor Eric Johnson. Oh, Mayor Eric Johnson, the fake Republican, the thin-skinned fake Republican mayor who led the helm of losing, was at the helm when AT&T left us. The fake Republican who's never afraid to, thin-skinned fake Republican who's never afraid to play the race card. That guy, Mayor Eric Johnson, the manager of the Crown Plaza Hotel, said he reached out to Mayor Eric Johnson to try to get relief from crime and problems associated with homelessness. No help. Good job, Mayor Eric Johnson. You did it. You lost AT&T. And Mayor Eric Johnson says, no, the reason why AT&T left is because they don't want to do vertical anymore with a tall building. They want to do horizontal. Nobody believes that, dude. Nobody believes that. I would be more willing to believe you if you whizzed down my back and told me it was raining. That would be more believable than this. The general manager of the Crown Plaza Hotel says, I've been here for 15 years. The bad things... listen to this. I've been here for 15 years. The bad thing is, it's changing. But it's changing for the worse. Good job, Mayor Eric Johnson. Good job, Chief Como. Oh, yeah, you got him. You're so close. You almost got him. Oh. Can you go back to the DEA and leave us, please? Downtown Dallas also has the highest vacancy rate. What does it say? Downtown Dallas has the highest vacancy rate in North Texas. They say at 26.7%. They're wrong. The Wall Street Journal says it's 27.2%. There's only one city in the entire freaking United States that has a worst vacancy rate of downtown commercial property. Seattle. We are like Seattle. Great job, Mayor Eric Johnson. You did it. Oh, you're a fake Republican. Oh, you're a Republican. Judge Dugan, that radical leftist judge, remember, she loved that illegal who's been charged with beating, I think, a woman and domestic violence. And she's like, "Oh, ICE is here to arrest you, Mister criminal arrest for domestic violence. Let me sneak you out where only the jurors and I are allowed to go." Well, she was convicted, as you know, but the reason it's in the Wall Street Journal today is because she officially resigned. And she claims it's because, quote, "I am the subject of unprecedented legal proceedings. I'm pursuing this fight for myself and our independent judiciary. However, the Wisconsin citizens I cherish deserve to start with a new judge on the bench." She's pretending it's her choice. The Wisconsin state, Constitution says she has to resign or they will fire her and remove her against her will. Quote, "No person convicted of a felony, which she is, in any court within the United States shall be eligible to any office of trust, profit, or honor in this state unless pardoned of the conviction." She has been fired by the state of Wisconsin Constitution. You're a felon. Get out of here. Dirtbag. I am so glad that happened. There was a judge that did something similar with illegals in the last year of the Trump administration first term. And but it was adjudicated, and it didn't get sentencing until after Trump was out and Biden was in. Biden's people give her a slap on the wrist, like probation. This is what needs to happen when you obfuscate and you help illegals and criminals in your court escape justice. It's disgusting. If you want to be an activist, that's fine. Relinquish your position as a judge, an honorable position, and go be a an activist. Nobody cares. That's fine, but don't do it while you're a judge, unless you want to lose your job. The Assembly Republicans in Wisconsin said they would impeach her immediately if she didn't leave on her own. So she acted like, I'm taking one for the team. No, you're not. You're fired. Dallas Morning News reporting bald-faced lies. This is great. This is I barely read the story. It's like if they wrote a book about a woman, and they pretend like the woman is a man by calling him he, because it's a woman who says she's a man. She says she's transgender and that she's really a man. Dallas Morning News, this is my story, quote, trans and pregnant in rural Texas. So the Dallas Morning News uses the he and male pronouns throughout the whole story as if miraculously a man got a baby. A fetus is in his anus. Not trying to be nasty. Whoa, Dallas Morning News, it's amazing, it's a miracle. A rural North Texan man with a penis has a fetus in his butt. That's literally how this comes across. He's trans and pregnant in rural Texas. He hopes his story will make other people feel less alone. Lifting up his shirt, it's a woman, a trans pregnant person living in rural North Texas. How are you feeling today? Like a whale. Yes, because you're a woman and you have a baby. The baby's head is now down in the correct position for a smooth birth. What, out of his butt? You call him a him. It's a she. His pronouns are he, they. I mean, the Dallas Morning News, we already knew this, but that's why it's just laugh at this. They're just lying. They wrote a whole article lying that this is a man when there's a baby in her uterus. And it even says right here. It says, listen to this one sentence from the Dallas Morning News. It just makes you laugh. His uterus and ovaries are still functioning. He has not medically transitioned, so his uterus and ovaries are still functioning. A man doesn't have a uterus and ovaries. Yet they say his. So you have like an 8-page story. It's like a mini book. It's like a novella about a lady who has a baby acting like it's a he. It's a he, and they call him a he. It's so funny. It's just so stupid funny. I thought I would laugh at it with you. This means that the transgender guy can become transgender woman can become pregnant, and he did. No, it's a she. Anyway, it's just so stupid. Okay. Iran. Let's go to Iran. Trump's going to have to act if this continues and people get shot more and more. They're going to do that. That's what Iran has on its schedule, on its docket. They're going to do what they always do. They're going to shoot and kill people in the streets. They've already killed the death toll, the Wall Street Journal said today, is 36. Let's go to that right now, and you hear some audio with this. They're burning government buildings down and government cars and everything, which is great. They want their freedom. It's amazing. Freedom. Absolutely amazing. Freedom, y'all. That's just beautiful is what that is. So, really cool. Let me give you some details on that right now, too. This is from the Wall Street Journal today. While Ayatollah Ali Khamenei scrounges, he literally is trying to bribe the people by giving them $7 a month. The rial is trading, it's now at a new low, trading at 1.47 million rial to the dollar. That's down from 824,000 to the dollar. So it went from it started at the 1979 revolution when the radical Islamists took over. It was 70 to 1. In 26, and it was 34,000 rial to $1. So it was 70 to 1 in 79. Then it went to 34,000 rial to $1 in 2016, 165,000 to 1 in 2020, 824,000 to 1 in June. It is now 1.47 million rial to the dollar. It's worthless. It's like the Weimar Republic. Continuing on. So they try to bribe him with $7 a month to stop them from rioting and trying to overthrow the government. They might overthrow them, and this is the time. I pray they do. And Trump says that all hell's going to break loose. He'll unload on them. Quote, if Iran shoots and violently kills peaceful protesters, which is their custom, the United States of America will come to their rescue. We are locked and loaded and ready to go. By then, the journal says, Iran had already killed at least 8 protesters. Now the death toll is at least 36, according to the human rights activists in Iran, a group. So he's going to need to take action if this continues. And Elon Musk, I pray, gets Starlink up for them, because the regime is shutting down the internet, trying to stop people from getting stuff like that out. And Israel and the United States can do stuff. Nobody's talking boots on the ground. If we can help to repress that regime, we can do cyber attacks. Let me show what the journal says. Despite food inflation of over 60% in 2025, Iran said Monday a new policy will cause prices of essential goods to increase perhaps by 20 and 30% in the coming weeks. They're starving people. Their food inflation is out of control. The dollar or the real is worthless. This isn't 2009, the Wall Street Journal. Remember that with Nida, the protester who died in front of our eyes on camera? We all saw it. And Barack Hussein Obama did nothing. And the government was this close to being overthrown by the people. If we had just helped them tip the tipping point. The Iranian people don't have a problem with Israel. They're not radical Islamists. They are peaceful people. There's a contingency of Christians there. They are not our enemy. They are not the Jews' enemy. It is the regime, the radical Islamist regime that former President Hussein Obama and Biden humped their legs. Trump bombed their frickin' nuclear program. We need to do something similar. Let me just read here. Maximum support. Longtime Iran watcher Mark Dubowitz. He's on Fox News every once in a while. He's great. He calls maximum support. What does that mean to do to Iran? To give maximum support to the people, providing strike funds. So that way, if they're striking and not at their jobs, they can still pay for stuff to live. Secure communications for protesters, while severing communication of regime thugs. Yes, sever their communication. Let the good people communicate. Keep them funded so they don't starve, and let them overthrow their own government. U.S. cyber and intelligence can help with leveling the battlefield for unarmed civilians facing an armed regime. There's things we can do, and I think we should do those things. I will see you tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow in Phoenix. I'll be on, like I mentioned earlier, from 5 to 8 p.m. on KFYI. So just Google KFYI Phoenix and listen to me from 5 to 9 live. Okay? And then follow me on Rumble and on YouTube. There's the addresses right there. And I will see you tomorrow. I hope you like the new stuff, the new tools, the new toys with the show. A lot more coming. Guests are coming soon. Lots of guests. The people that I had on my other show back in the day on my old station are going to come, and many more.